Good morning, good morning. It's the B Cup, and here we are. Good morning, kids. It's February 2nd already. Oh shit, rent's due. Rent's due, kids, rent. We all have to pay rent. So, good morning, kids. It's Friday, March 2nd. It's the B Cup, and I have a lot of foam for you this morning. Mmm, delicious. Look, I'm bringing back the foam, kids. So, I really want to talk about this idea of toxic masculinity, and everyone's saying this is toxic, that's toxic. Like, come on already. Do we really have to? Okay, hold on. Sorry, my thing is not working. Hi, Lauren. Nice to see you. Hi, Alex and Leonard. ¿Cómo está? El saludo desde España. Ah, bueno, gracias. Buen día. Good morning, Nat. Got your coffee? Yeah. Okay. Smoking weed. It's too early for me to smoke weed. I can't function when I smoke weed. It's my glass of wine in the evening time. Good morning, Diana. Nice to see Diana. It's cold here in LA too. It's raining and cold, and for LA that's cold. Hi, Rocky. Nice to see you, my friend. So, oh, good morning, Riley. Nice to see you. So, I just learned on the YouTube channel too. If you wanted to go on there, now they're going to keep the like they do on Facebook. They're going to keep the chat connected to the YouTube video. So that's actually a good thing. People can go back and see what we talked about. Thank you, Diana. I appreciate that. Hi, Kai. Nice to see you from Colorado Springs. So, I really would like to make a huge cannabis event soon. I'm an LGBT cannabis event with a DJ dancing, talking, hanging out, no alcohol, only cannabis. So I'm working on doing something like that, and I wanted to take it on tour to each city. So this morning I don't have a lot of time because I got a lot happening right now, and I got some awesome new products coming out that you're going to be very excited about. Some new CBD products, and I have Buck's Balm coming back. So Buck's Balm is a big hit because it works. If you haven't used CBD, but you have anxiety, you have depression, you just have just all around not feeling so great, CBD is a great way. It is not THC, it does not get you high. It's a great and anti-inflammatory. It's a great pain reliever. I use it every single day. I use it in my vape, but you can get tincture and put it in your coffee or put it in your drinks. It is an amazing product. And Buck's Balm is a rub that will help you with any types of ailments that you have physically on your body. It helps me sleep. I rub it here and here, but it also helps with I have a lower back pain. I think I'm just getting old. But let's move on because we don't have a lot of time, and I really want to. Good morning, Fernando, and Robert says, yeah, the cannabis would be an awesome event, Buck. Yeah, it would be in Seattle, most definitely. So, what I want to talk about this morning, kids, real quick here is toxic masculinity. It keeps being brought up, and I keep seeing people misusing this idea that masculinity is toxic. There is starting to be some people in the trans male community who are very anti passing, who are very anti cisgender passing masculine trans men who have ripped bodies for some reason. Now, this is a bad thing, and it's mimicking cisgender people. What is it called when you mimic a cisgender? Heteronormative. Now it's all hetero. Trans men who are heteronormative, I guess I'm heteronormative, though I'm super gay, so I don't really get it, is now considered toxic masculinity within the trans male community. This has to stop, people. I am not toxic. My brothers in this whole situation are not toxic. We just are being ourselves. We're being the people we've always wanted to be. We're dressing the way we've always wanted to be. We're sculpting our bodies the way we always wanted to be. We're growing mustaches the way we always wanted to be. Though you must understand that is not toxic. What is toxic is actions. Actions are toxic, not the way you look. So this idea that any trans man now who is muscular, who is hyper masculine, who looks a certain type of masculinity is toxic is unbelievably disrespectful towards me and also towards my other brothers, because yes, I call them my brothers, whether you like it or not. It's not my problem, it's my language. My brothers within the FTM community. And so lately they have been, hi Anika, nice to see you. Hi Rocky. Rocky says, true, looking masculine or passing, not a crime. It's becoming a crime, this passing idea that you can't look cisgender or you are not transgender or you're not. This is just really, oh, say it in español, little buck. Okay. Es difícil para mí hablar en español todo de what I just said. ¿Cómo se dice? What I just said. Porque mi español es no muy bueno. But it's tóxico. El masculino es no es tóxico. ¿Qué es tóxico? Is the. My Spanish is so bad. I need to start talking more. Speaking in Spanish. Rochelle says everybody makes hand quotes around the word passing like it's a bad word. What word is acceptable when discussing the concept without excusing it with air quotes? I use air quotes. I do use air quotes because I hate it. I find it derogatory. I find it disrespectful. I find it as if it is a negative term now. Passing has become a negative term in my book, where it wasn't a negative term when I transitioned. The whole point of me to transition was to pass. So yes, I pass because I want to pass, not for any other reason. So this idea that passing is a bad thing now upsets me, Rochelle, and it's disrespectful to me and to my FTM brothers who have worked very hard to become these men who walk the world with our passing privilege. And is it really a privilege? Is it really a privilege that I walk the world this way? Every day I wake up, I go to the gym, I eat healthy, I make a huge effort to create this body, to create this mind, and to create this soul. It isn't just a privilege that was handed over to me. I make a huge effort every day to create this person. So to say that my passing privilege is just that is rude and disrespectful because it isn't just that. I choose this. It wasn't handed over to me. It's never been handed over to me. And it's never been handed over to any other trans men in this community. Every trans man that passes makes a huge effort to pass. So when the gender nonconforming or the transgender people who don't pass look at us who pass as if we have something better than them, they have the same opportunity to do it as we do. So why are we the bad people and they are the good people? This is a question I really want to talk about. Can you talk to me about that? Why is passing bad now and gender nonconforming isn't? Why? I really want to know. Nobody's going to have an answer. Privilege is a tricky concept. Good morning, Caleb. Though they can't be boiled down to anything. Everyone is privileged and not privileged. Some are more than others. It's not having privilege is what we do with it. Exactly, my friend Caleb. Thank you for saying that. We need to determine. We are putting words in such categories as if they're black and white. Remember these two words and these two ways of being: context and intent. Everything is context. Everything is taken in either context or intent. These are real things. JD says, passing isn't privilege for me. It comes back with harsher criticism. Yes, great. Rochelle says, so what word is better to use without insulting? I don't know, Rochelle. Honestly, I don't know. I find it offensive. Maybe other people don't. But for me, the only reason I find it, when I didn't find it offensive before, the only reason I find it offensive now is because it's been put into a category of using as an offensive term. So in a sense, when they say you're passing and you have passing privilege, they are making it as if it's a bad thing to pass, when it isn't a bad thing to pass. It's always a choice. Everything we do in everyday life is a choice. Good morning, Ty. Nice to see you. No passing privilege when I have to use a shitty stall. I actually like to use the stall. I don't like to stand at the urinal. It's like I'd rather sit down and pee. I don't really know what the big deal is. A lot of cisgender men sit down and pee, by the way. Nate says, I think passing is a privilege in regards to what can be afforded in regards to healthcare. However, we shouldn't be discriminating against those who I couldn't afford health care. Do you know that I don't even have health care? And do you know that when I transitioned, no insurance companies paid for anything. Everything you see on my body is because of my own time and effort to create it with my own money. Now, of course, I'm white. It was easier for me to deal with things in the world. But still, you have to remember I was a white dyke back in the 80s and 90s. That still was not an easy thing to walk the world as and try getting a job. It still wasn't easy. So I can argue a lot of these ideas by telling you my own story and where I came from and how I did it. And I'm not saying it's better or worse. I'm just saying that people just think things were handed to me. They have never been handed to me. Ever. To this day, things are still not handed to me because of my work in porn. So what privilege do I have? I mean, I clearly have white male privilege, 100%. But those privileges were earned. They were not given to me. We need you to come talk here. I'll be in Australia soon. And this year I'll be in Australia. Caleb says, I find passing offensive because it is reductive. No, it is as if a person who passes can now be defined. But we were never. But that's your idea, Caleb. That's your thought. It should not be the whole thought of the community. You're entitled to think how you want about passing, but it does not mean that that's the definition in our community or that it's rude or disrespectful to be passing. If you don't want to pass and you don't want to be that, don't be it. But if other of us want to pass and other of us want to walk the world as masculine people, we should be able to do it without feeling attacked by other people in our community. Rochelle, why use it at all? Who cares? Yeah, that's a good point, Kelly. That's a good point. David said passing is being seen as selling out. Selling out? That's what I'm talking about. Those people can go fuck off. I made a huge effort to get where the fuck I am, and it's not selling out. It's who I've always wanted to be. So when people say I'm selling out, they're telling me who I am and what I should be. And that said, that is not okay because I could say the same about them. And then what are we doing? We're just crashing heads. Where is this idea coming from that selling out, passing is selling out? No, it isn't. People forget that I have a vagina. I walk the world as a man with a vagina. How is that selling out? We should be supporting each other in minority communities instead of stepping on each other's heads. We talk about this every day. It's so gross, Owen. It's just gross. I don't get it. I just don't get this tearing each other down. Kelly, we're discussing it right now. There has been a better way to address. Yes, exactly, Rochelle. Lisa says, I made it. Yeah. Caleb says, I do want to pass. What I meant and did not explain well is that passing is used as a definition. I get defined now as if there is nothing else about me. Yeah, that makes sense, Caleb, totally. And it wasn't that I was coming down on you. I'm just saying that we need to stop this idea of passing as a bad thing or that masculinity is toxic. These just blanket statements about any type of identity or any type of person is wrong and disrespectful. You cannot make blanket statements about people. You can't say all Latinos are this way or all Asian people are this way. That's racist and sexist when you say all women act this way or all men are toxic. That's like just a horrible, ridiculous thing to say. We have moved away from individuality. My behavior as a man is not toxic. My look as a man is not toxic. Now, if I were to run around talking shit every day, and there's a lot of toxic behavior from gender non-conforming people, I'll tell you that right now. A lot of toxic behavior from gender non-conforming people that I see every day attacking me. So what are you talking about? If you want respect, give respect. But stop attacking other people in your community. Yeah, David, I know you're not. Cheryl says I'm very glad my son passes most of the time for his own safety. But the bottom line is this, Sheree. Does your son want to pass? That's all the question. Does your son want to pass? TJ says selling out is accepting societal's rules and conforming by hiding out in the proverbial closet that they've built for us. Do I hide out? TJ, do I hide out? I am so visible. I'm probably one of the most visible people out there. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I don't hide out. And I don't use my passing privilege to hide out. I speak out using my privilege and the way I look. So I disagree with this idea that you becoming societal and you're coming into it and you're hiding out. And even if I was, who cares? It's not your concern as a community person. It is not your concern at all. It's people who are worried about other people in this community that are not looking at themselves. Instead, blanket statements are harmful. Kate says, so is it a bad thing to pass? What are you supposed to look like? I don't know, Kate. Supposedly now it's bad. Are you reading some of the comments? That you're selling out and becoming one of them. Jay says, after over a year of stabbing myself every week, I feel like myself. I can grow a beard, which is all I've wanted since I was 13. I'm single for the first time since I was 20. And women are actually interested in me. I've never been hot before, but now I'm comfortable in my own skin. There you go. There you go, Jay. And that's all that needs to be said. Are you happy, Jay? Do you love your life, Jay? Are you now a different person who's walking the world comfortable in your skin, Jay? Are you just being part of society now? That's all that matters. Nothing else matters. TJ says, not at all. I'm referring to people saying passing is selling out. Yes, I get it. You know, sometimes it's hard to do these comments. Sheree says, yes, he does. He's very upset when he's misgendered. Yes, and here's the deal, my friend Sheree. He wants to pass. He is entitled to pass if that's what he wants to do. Nobody has a say-so in that at all. And it's not toxic. Gino says, excuse my expression, but what type of fuck shit? What's happening in the LGBT community? I don't know what's happening, my friend. So Lisa says, my best friend beats herself up when she doesn't pass. That's because, what? That's what she wants. I'm not following any guidelines. I've never followed guidelines. I clearly don't follow guidelines. I clearly created myself and my own desire of my own masculinity, and I built it to where I'm comfortable today. And the last group of people that I want to have to be confronted by, to have to defend myself every day, and have to have these types of arguments is my own community. Those are the people that attack masculinity. Those are the people that attack passing. Those are the people that attack us in our own community who decide to be identified in a way we choose to identify, yet it's our own community attacking us. What is wrong with this equation? Those are the last people I ever would have thought would attack me for the way I look or the way I choose to be, because it wasn't like that before. So what is happening, and why are we continually pointing fingers at people and making these statements that make no sense? The rest of the world is watching us. They are watching us implode. They are watching us attack each other. They are watching the B Cup, and they are watching me bring these things up because they contact me every day. And they're saying, why is there's so much turmoil within your own community? And what's happening with all of these things? And I'm like, I don't know. The only thing I can say is people aren't happy. They're not happy with themselves. Rocky says, I feel like a similar thing happens along other lines as well. Like in the black community, the concept of being black enough or too black. Yes, and I can't speak to that, and I'm glad you brought it up, my friend Rocky. The rating system is unnecessary. Also, the internet is full of people trying to grab more attention, and the best way to do that is to be negative. And yes, in internet language. It would be great to see our community set the example for how so many different and unique people communicate effectively with that. Look what we do here on the B Cup, my friend. It is sad to see that we are not supporting and accepting. It's got to change. The more we talk about it, it will change. Claire says, happiness relies on aligning with one's own expectations and desires, which may or may not align with what people might label as stereotype. Be yourself, screw the haters. 100% Claire, but if we don't have discussion about it and we pretend like it's not happening, it can actually get out of control, and it's actually making other transgender men like myself, female to male transsexual, feel bad about their transition because they're being attacked by their own community for passing, for heteronormative, for identifying as a straight male, for deciding that they want to have a penis, for becoming part of the cisgender world. What? Why? Why do you care? Why do people in our community care what other people look like? Why do people in our community care if you pass? Rocky says, does this happen to trans? Oh, yes. 100%. And at the same level, if not worse. Oh, there's a lot of that in the trans women community. I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not a trans woman and I don't want a trans woman to say you don't speak for us because I don't speak for you. But all I know is my own observation and my own being around my own transgender women friends. It's just as toxic and crazy. Now that's toxic behavior. That's toxic behavior. Toxic behavior is when you come down on other people for no reason, just to spew your own self-hate in order to make your own self feel better. That's why people spew about toxic masculinity, about passing, about looking too cisgender. It's because they don't like themselves. They do not like themselves. They haven't found themselves. They are so lost that people react. When you react, it's because you're not listening inside of your own self. Kayleigh says, we have the same attitudes in the lesbian community. Just because I present as butch does not mean I want to become a man. We got a butch in the house. High five, my friend. Thank you for being a butch woman. Thank you for being a proud butch woman. Thank you for being out there. We need you. Visibility. We're losing a lot of people to whatever's happening. Actually, I don't know if the word lose. I apologize for saying that. I didn't mean lose. What I mean is that we don't have a large representation of butch females in the community anymore. And so I love butches. My heart is with the butches because I was a butch. And also I have a lot of butch women friends. So, it's interesting. It's interesting to me, Kayleigh, because I have a bunch of older butch women friends. They might be in their 50s or 60s, even 70s. And there's been, I'd say maybe half of them say, if I was younger, I would have transitioned. If I was younger, I would transition. And that's interesting to me because what does that mean? Does that mean that they would have transitioned before? I guess it does mean that. But I find it so fascinating that they feel that they're too old. They're too old to transition, right? But that said, I'm glad that we still have butches out there because there's younger generation of butches coming up and they need visibility. Everybody needs to see themselves represented. Everybody. I don't care your color, your sexuality, your gender, your fashion options, your everything, your facial hair. You have to be represented. And so if we don't have any butches out there representing, what are the youth going to say? We need to have representation of everything. And so again, I really commend you for being out there and being vocal and being a butch woman because it's the truth, my friend. I see it happen all the time. A lot of people think when you're a butch woman, you're transitioning or you're going to transition. So we need to have people understand that that's not necessarily so. Being a butch woman is totally okay and totally real and totally hot. Who's my favorite? Who's my favorite butch woman? I mean, actually, I have a couple. But who are my favorite visible butch women? Can you guess? Can you guess? Yes, Rocky. Rocky says, I would have killed myself without the butch women I have known in my life. Yes, they're the most awesome. We all need it. Deborah says we all need a positive role model for lack of a better word or term. I agree, totally. So, here it comes. Here it comes. Who my favorite visible butch women are? Martina Navratilova. I can never say her name. Martina. I'm just going to say Martina. And Rita Mae Brown. Rita Mae Brown. Those are my two most visible butches that I love the most. I love Martina and I love Rita Mae Brown. Look at her. Look at how butch she is. Rita Mae and Martina are butch. At the height of butch, kids. And they fucking rule. And they have no shame. And they're fucking out there. And they're just like, fuck you. I'm a butch. I don't care what you fuck. And you know all the hard times they had to go through. I gotta go. But listen to me right now. Kids, listen to me. I really, really, really am going to give you an assignment. And you have to follow my assignment, okay? Because now I'm going to tell you, Trampa's going to tell you something I really want you to watch. Okay? It's a documentary on Netflix called, I think, She's Beautiful When She's Angry. She's Beautiful When She's Angry. It's on Netflix. It's a documentary. It is amazing. And all the hottest butches are there. Plus, it is extremely important for you to watch this film. This film is our history. It's our history. It's the history of the women's movement. It's powerful, and it's important for you to see it because actually, I know a lot about our history, but I didn't know. Already saw it. Right on, my friend. Rachel Maddow, too, of course. She's one of the butches, but my favorite butches are those. Rachel is awesome. That film is amazing, Kelly Irene. Amazing. Watch it. She's Beautiful When She's Angry. It is an amazing, awesome film. You'll love it. All the hottest butches are in there. And it's historical and important for you to know the history of our movement because that's the history of our movement. That is the female history part of our movement and the feminist part of our movement. And in a sense, it's also part of trans movement. I see it. I see it there. So I love you guys a lot. I love you on YouTube very much. So let's I gotta go. I gotta get to the gym. I got a big day happening. I got all my Bucks Balm is coming back out. It should be here by next week. I have a very, very, very awesome new product coming out that I will let you know by next week. It's incredible, and you'll be so excited to see it. I am very blessed, and I have a lot of gratitude for you all, and I feel very happy that I get to be this butch, masculine man who walks the world with a vagina every day. And I feel very blessed and very grateful that I found myself. And if there's anything that you ever take from me, ever, whether my bullshit opinions that you don't agree with or my trampa raw attitude that you don't agree with, the one thing that you must understand from me is that I have a huge amount of gratitude. A huge amount of gratitude, and that I am a very happy person to walk the world as a masculine man. I am very happy and I feel very centered and I found myself. And that's all you ever need to know. Find yourself. Do not let people intimidate you to find yourself. Because if you don't find yourself, you will never be happy. You will always be looking for that light because you were too worried about what other people were thinking about you. Don't worry what other people think about you because it means nothing. For the rest of your life, people will have opinions about you. People will have opinions about the way you dress, about the way you look, about the way you eat, about who you date, about how much money you have, about what kind of car you drive, blah, 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 blah. Are you happy? That's the only thing you have to ever say to yourself. Are you happy? And that's it. And then you don't have to answer to anybody about anything. And that's all I ask of you to hear from me. That's all that's all, Diane. I am G.I. Joe. That's all I ask of you to hear from me. Be yourself and do not be intimidated by other people coming at you because they think you're doing it wrong or you're cis heteronormative or you shouldn't be passing or you can't be gender nonconforming or you can't have surgery or you can't blah, 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 blah. It's all vomiting people's self-hate. That's all it is. Remember that. Okay, kids, off of the